Y'all welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Y'all, we got some work to do today. We gotta unhaul some books. So the intern has been giving me just the absolute business because when I get books in the mail, I leave them sitting downstairs on the table because I have nowhere to put them. So I tell him I need more bookshelves. I don't have enough room for my books. And he's like, maybe you just have too many books. Which, how can you have too many books? Well, here's one way, is if you have multiple copies of books. So I went through and I came up with a stack of books that I need to unhaul. So I'm gonna unhaul some books to make room for some more books on my bookshelf. Y'all, this is hard work. So I made stacks of books that I intend to unhaul. Bo, go lay down. Go on, stop. I made stacks of books that I intend to unhaul, and there are some that are going, but I've already lost 2 books out of my unhaul. These are Patricia Cornwell books, and this appears as though I started reading it back in, let's see. It appears that it was a DNF back in June of 2002. I know y'all can't see that, which I think I was in grad school back then. So it would make sense that I would not be able to finish a book. But anyway, so The Body Farm and Jack the Ripper Case Closed were in the unhaul, but then I got to looking at them and they look interesting. Like maybe I'll read them. So these are getting unhauled. I'm gonna keep these for a while. But let's go through and let me show y'all what I have to unhaul. And do not, y'all, please, don't say, oh, you should keep this or you should keep that. I do not need y'all being a bad influence and encouraging me to keep books. Can y'all see this? Bo's here trying to help me. He's being my emotional support animal as I unhaul my books. So let's get started. Ender's Game. We all read Ender's Game. Y'all remember this one. It's the future society. I guess it's dystopic. The world is fixing to end, or they're at war being attacked by aliens, and everybody has to go and fight. And kids are trained to fight by playing games. And it turns out that Ender is like some genius and wins all the games, all the war games. So that's going in the going pile. John Grisham's Runaway Jury. Isn't this the one about the lawsuit or the trial, whatever, because it's a jury, against Big Tobacco, where one of the jurors is tainted and he's the runaway juror, and you have to like figure out who he is or what his deal is? That one's going. Oh, y'all. Pet Cemetery. I think I have multiple copies of this one. That's why this is going. I need to get rid of all of the copies of this book. This book scared me so bad back in the day. Remember back in the day when this came out and we all read it? Well, y'all, I was like, 14 when this came out and we all read it. It scared me so bad. So the family moves to, what is it, Deering, Maine, or wherever it is that all of Stephen King's stories take place. Well, you know, the perfect little family moves there and the family cat gets run over and they bury it in the old pet cemetery and the cat comes back. Well, then something else happens and they bury it in the pet cemetery. Anyway, I know, how do you give spoilers on a 40-year-old book? But I'm not going to give spoilers. But y'all, this book scared me so bad. It's going. Remember on Friends when Joey, what was it? He put the book in the freezer. The book that scared him, he put it in the freezer. Pet Cemetery needs to go in the freezer. The Lost World, Jurassic Park book 2. I have 2 of them. Actually, I have 3 of them. One of them is still upstairs. But this is the one. Remember at the end of Jurassic Park, they like killed all the dinosaurs? Well, then in the Lost World, they realized that they didn't kill all the dinosaurs, that something survived. Lost World, it's going. Some Dan Brown stuff. Deception Point. And okay, Digital Fortress is the one with the code break, not like code breakers like code talkers. The NSA code breakers, like they have the code breaking machine, but then there's the code that the code breaking machine can't break. So they bring in the cryptographer, whatever she is, the code breaker, the like amazing code breaker woman to break the code. And it turns out that if she breaks the code, it'll like undo all of society. I know that's a fantastic description, but Digital Fortress going. This one, Deception Point. I think this is the NASA one where supposedly they made some kind of discovery in like, I don't know, one of the poles, North Pole, South Pole, some pole. And it was this great scientific and political discovery, but it turns out it was all fake. And you don't know it's all fake until they send in this renowned scientist to research it or investigate or whatever. And she realizes that it's all fake. So then she's going to like unmask the whole thing. Well, it's political, as I think all Dan Brown stuff is political. So then intrigue ensues. Oh, y'all. Let's slow down a little bit. Joy Luck Club, Amy Tan. This is multiple generations of a family of Chinese people sharing their stories. Heartbreaking. Yeah, it's the women in this family learn about each other. You know, it's like the younger generation of women is resentful of the older generation because they're so strict and they're all the things. Well, then you learn through flashbacks what this older generation of women went through. Y'all. And it's like you flash back, and so you're there in person with these people as these things are happening. It's an amazing, I know everybody has read this already. If you have not read this, you need to read it. It's amazing. It will break your heart. And while we're breaking people's hearts, let's talk about some Barbara Kingsolver. If you have not read Barbara Kingsolver, get on it. Poisonwood Bible. Unhauling this because I have like 2 or 3 copies of this book. So in the Poisonwood Bible, this family of, I don't know that, I guess they are. I was going to say I don't know that they're Christian missionaries. They're Christian missionaries. So the dad is a minister, Christian minister of some sort, and they go to the Congo, the Belgian Congo maybe, and so you follow their lives on the Congo, and it's during a revolution. So there is the sort of undercurrent of political things going on, but you go through their struggles and their loss and the things that they sacrifice to live this life that they believe in. Y'all, it's probably been an easy 25 years since I read this book, probably more than that. And I still remember just the absolute heartbreak of going through what the family goes through. Like you go through it with them, and it's just absolutely heartbreaking. It's a beautiful, oh, I'm dusting myself out. It is an absolutely beautiful story. If you know anything about Barbara Kingsolver, if you've read any of her books, they are beautifully written and they break your heart. The Bridge Across Forever, Richard Bach. Y'all remember One by Richard Bach? We all read that back in the day. This is more of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. This is that guy. This is a love story by him. The Yaya Sisterhood. Y'all, this is friendships among Southern women. And you follow them through generations. Like it's the Yayas and then is it the Petite Yayas, their daughters? Again, charming, heartbreaking. I'm about to keep this, so I need to get it out of my hands before this gets unhauled as well. But this is a fantastic book. It just beautifully depicts the connections and friendships between women and how they develop over the years and through generations and through hardships and through like being mad at each other. And no matter how mad you are at your girlfriends, when something bad happens, everybody is right there and you're right back together. So Yaya Sisterhood. This is a recent read. I don't know why I'm getting rid of this one so quickly, but I'm not going to read it again. The Rocky Road to Romance. I just read and talked about this in a recent reading vlog. Janet Ivanovich. It's a screwball comedy, but y'all, Janet Ivanovich writes the Stephanie Plum detective series, and she can't get away from that. So like I said, it's a screwball comedy. It's a romance, but there's also sort of a detective story, mystery wrapped up in it. It's a very quick read. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, but I'm not going to read it again. So it's getting unhauled. 9 Perfect Strangers. I also read recently. It might have been in that same reading vlog that I read this one. Leanne Moriarty. We follow 9 Perfect Strangers to a fitness retreat or wellness retreat. I liked the characters, did not like the story, will not be reading it again, and it's going. Pride and Prejudice, I know. Everybody loves Pride and Prejudice. Elizabeth Bennet, Mr. Darcy. Y'all, apparently I've read Pride and Prejudice at least 3 times. Well, read and or taught Pride and Prejudice at least 3 times because I have 3 copies of Pride and Prejudice, and I have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So unhauling 2 copies of Pride and Prejudice, along with The Essential Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. Love Poe, love The Essentials. I have 2 copies of it, so 1 copy is going. Y'all, Francesca Leah Blanc's Weetzie Bat. This is the full collection of the Weetzie Bat books, Dangerous Angels, and I have 2 copies. I absolutely adore Weetzie Bat. Now, Weetzie is this quirky little teenager just trying to make her way. It is a 90s, very exceptionally 90s, deconstructionist tale, and I absolutely love it. I love Weetzie Bat. I love her best friend Dirk. I love Slingster Dog. I love the whole thing. All the books are here. Weetzie Bat, Witch Baby, Cherokee Bat, and the Goat Guys, Missing Angel Juan, and Baby Bebop. Y'all, they're all here. Okay. Maybe I'm not going to unhaul this book. Okay, you know what? I am going to, but I'm not going to just put it out there in the wild. I am going to give this book to somebody because, y'all, I can't just turn Weetzie loose out there and have her end up on some strange random person's shelves. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set Weetzie aside, and I'm going to find somebody. A friend of mine made a joke that I don't just give away books. I rehome my books, and she wondered what the application process was like. This is one of those cases. Weetzie is not going out into the wild. Weetzie is going to stay with me until I'm ready for her to go to another good home. And y'all, I have this same book upstairs. It's not like I'm getting rid of Weetzie, but I just can't turn her loose. So there are eraser crumbs in this book. Oh, my word. Anyway, okay, so Bose cutting me looks. My dog is giving me the side eye. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to let her go, just carefully. Now, these books, I've no idea. Okay, this one, y'all remember when I got this book. I got it in my I think this was this part of the Dirty Dozen haul? I can't remember. But I bought it because it was storming down snow outside, and I thought the cover looked summery, and I was all excited. It's called Summer People. It's going. I never read it, never opened it. It's going. Yes, remember I almost read it, and then there was a review that said, in a moment of weakness, in the middle of a Minnesota winter, I bought this book because I liked the cover. And y'all, I didn't write that. Somebody else wrote it. So I was like, that's an omen, not reading it. Vineyard Shadows, a Martha's Vineyard mystery. No idea. Don't know where I got this. Don't know why I have it. It's go. Oh, I DNF'd on page 23. It's going. I don't remember a thing in the world about it. I didn't remember even starting to read that book. Probably started to read it 30 years ago. Now, y'all, please, don't judge current me based on books that past me bought, okay? Like The Cash Trap. No idea. Unhauling. The Fraternity of the Stone. No idea. Unhauling. Shoeless Joe. This might have been in a classroom library. Yeah, this was a classroom library book. Unhauling. Ghost Girl. I'm guessing also a classroom. Well, it doesn't have my name in it. I was thinking this was probably a classroom library book as well. The True Story of a Child in Peril and the Teacher Who Saved Her. Going. I cannot believe I'm even showing y'all this one. Summer Sand Serpent Secrets. Classroom library, which I can tell because it's got my name written in it. Going. The MD, a horror story. Who needs to read this? No. Going. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save the best bad one for last. Temporary Santa. This is apparently a twofer. Temporary Santa has Baby's First Christmas and The Unlikely Santa. No idea. Going. Wallflower. Looks horrifying. William Bayer. Tom Clancy. No idea how or why I ended up with a Tom Clancy book. I bought it exceptionally used somewhere at some point. that's going. A heartbreaking work of staggering genius. This is about a man who ends up raising his younger brother after his parents die. And it was a DNF for me because I felt like he was sanctimonious about just doing the right thing. So that's getting unhauled. And finally, y'all, remember, you're not judging me. You're not judging current me based on books that past me bought. Because past me somehow ended up with a book called Dirty White Boys by Stephen Hunter. I have no idea. It doesn't appear to ever even have been opened. So, I don't know. It's getting unhauled. So y'all, that's the unhaul. I'm going to get these books together, get them boxed up, and take them to Goodwill, get them back into circulation, because you know that's where most of them came from. Y'all, thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you've made it this far, we're officially friends. So go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can keep up with my shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos on Monday with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.